Hello world, this is Keith for Keith's Universe, and I just want to let you all know that I'm a feminist. For quite a while I was one of those people who would cringe at the very utterance of the word feminist. My former opinion was, well, we don't really need feminism anymore because we have secular humanism now to take it from here. While I am indeed a humanist, and I very proudly call myself a humanist, I'm also a feminist, as feminism is a subset of humanism. I would regard myself as a moderate feminist, to be more precise. Now, without getting into the differences between moderate feminism and radical feminism, let me just say there are differences between the two, and there are certain issues that I, as a moderate feminist, would not necessarily see eye to eye on or share with the more radical feminists. So, with that said, what feminism means to me is the ideology that all human beings, regardless to their gender, should be treated with the same dignity, the same respect, and the same level of opportunities, which means we should all have the same rights when it comes to occupational fields, equal pay, providing all parties involved are involved in the same field. Perceptions of a person's interests and desires, what the perception of a person's hobbies may be, and the very ideology of being in control of one's own body. These are just some of the more basic forms of gender equality. Now, I'm not going to revisit the whole topic of abortion. I've already made 4 videos on the topic in depth, and there is a link to a playlist down below. If you care to watch that, please feel free to check out that playlist. Some of the other issues I've noticed in relevance to gender inequality is confirmation bias. This is not only aimed at women, but it's also aimed at men. This sort of attitude that a man or a woman wouldn't know too much about such and such because they happen to be a man or they happen to be a woman, so they wouldn't really know about that. This is not only a very outdated mentality, but it is incredibly frustrating for a person who is working in a particular field to have to deal with people who automatically invalidate that person and invalidate whatever knowledge they might have solely based on their gender. This is affecting individuals who just simply want to get a job done, but they can't get that job done because of individuals who just turn a deaf ear to them because they're born of a particular gender that doesn't fit the gender role of the minds of certain very close-minded people. It is just amazing to me that in the 21st century we have this ideology of a man's job or a woman's job. It's such a 1950s mentality, and it is incredibly sexist. Now, I simply couldn't make a video about feminism without mentioning the biggest issue affecting feminism. And no, it's not the gender wage gap, which is also very important, by the way. But the issue that I'm talking about, which is the most important issue, is sexual assault. Now, I'm not saying that this doesn't happen to men, because it does. There are 2 great examples of that would be Terry Crews and Anthony Rapp are 2 prominent examples of sexual assault done towards men. But statistically speaking, most of the victims do tend to be women. Back in 2016, the World Health Organization reported that 1 in 3 women will experience a sexual assault in their lifetimes. While, to make a comparison, the 1 in 6 project reported that only 1 in 6 men will experience a sexual assault in their lifetimes. Now, that is not to diminish the men who do experience a sexual assault, but these statistics do indicate that women are more likely to be victims. We should always take such claims of sexual assault very seriously and with compassion. False accusations do happen, and we should always wait until the evidence is in before jumping to conclusions. But at the same time, we shouldn't automatically discredit any such claims. Bottom line here's the golden rule of thumb: wait until the evidence is in. The sad fact of the matter is, rape culture is a very real thing. God, I really wish it wasn't, but it is. For example, a lot of straight guys don't realize that I'm gay, and let's just say a certain variety of straight men, not all of them, I don't want to generalize, a certain variety of straight men will say certain things around me assuming I'm in the same camp, so to speak. For example, there's this particular taxi driver, and as my bad luck would have it, I've had this person drive me on multiple occasions. And it's very interesting, without fail, every single time this man would look out his driver's window and manage to find some woman for him to make various comments about what she is wearing, be it her skirt or whatever it is, and then make various very objectifying comments about her rear end. What is interesting to me is that I think we all know too damn well, if I was to look outside my passenger window, see a man I find attractive, and talk about his hot ass in the most graphic way that I can possibly imagine, I think we can all imagine what sort of reaction that I would get. I'd probably get kicked out of the cab, actually, to be quite honest. Obviously, that wasn't the only situation I found myself listening to all sorts of inappropriate objectifications towards women. When I was a young teen in school, I would constantly hear the boys talking about female students and teachers and all of the things they'd love to do to them. Looking back at it now, I cringe. Why was this ever deemed okay? It's just so bizarre to me now. And just an FYI, being a feminist does not mean you are man-hating or you hate men or you devalue men in any form whatsoever. If that was the case, then feminism would not be a subset of humanism, because hating someone for their gender, i.e. male, is totally against what humanism is. But if you come across a person who calls themselves a feminist, they express a hatred for men, they express a disdain for men, they devalue men, they talk down to men, they misuse the concept of mansplaining every second they get to censor all men, as far as I'm concerned, such people are not feminists. They like the idea of calling themselves feminists and belonging to that group. But, you know, really they're just following a trend. They're not actually feminists because they're not actually practicing what they preach. So anyway, those are some of my reasons why I am a feminist. It is not something I take lightly. It is, however, something I've given a great deal of thought on. Now, I would like to hear your views on this topic. Feel free to post a comment down below. You can also send me a video response by uploading your video response to YouTube and including this hashtag in your description. So until next time, everyone, thank you so very much for watching. Freedom, peace, and love.